Here we go. This is the week in review show for SMFL, uh, season 3 for us, Madden 25. We didn't do a show earlier in um, the season like we should have, so we're gonna try and do the whole shebang in one shot. And I got my buddy Wade with us. Yeah, Wade.
Yeah, I'm here. Let's do it.
Okay, so first let's go with the Super Bowl winner from last season. That's the Rams owner. Congratulations to him for winning, new owner in the league. Um, he's he almost went undefeated. I think he didn't. I'm not really. I don't remember, but anyway, run it up Preak 5 or however you say that.
Run it
That
up, Reek.
Reek run it up Reek 5. That's the winner for last year's Super Bowl. Um,
That's really saying something. Winning it against the guys that we have in the elite tier of our league. I mean, we got some players up there that can really play. So that's saying something.
yeah, yeah.
Come in and win it on the first season.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's guys out there that play the game like that. So they're that, I mean, I don't know how old Homeboy is, but my theory is the younger, the faster the fingers, and the brain moves a little quicker. So,
I
if you,
I haven't had a chance to see his games played yet, but he's
well, I mean, he's had to stream once or twice, so he was in some games where he streamed. But he's got a solid game, so you can't take nothing away from him. He's a good player. He's up there. He's trying to repeat, so that's the thing. You can win it, but you got to defend it. So if he happens to win again, then he's done what and then we could talk dynasty 3, 4, depending on how this works out. But um, right now we're gonna take a look at. I guess we can pretty much go through the standings for this season. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of uh, reversals, so to speak. Some people, myself included, didn't make the playoffs this season. So you can start with the NFC East or NFC or
I'll
which.
just break down the NFC and I'll just go straight down. You got the Rams who we were just talking about at 17-0,
Right.
Lions at 14-2, 49ers at 12-5, Saints at 11-5, Commanders at 11-6, and I think they're going to be getting their Redskin name back at some point. Falcons 10-6, Giants 9-7, Seahawks 9-8, Wizards. Who's on the Wizards now? Is that
That's
Smack?
that's smack. Yes, I believe.
The old owner of the Vikings. Buccaneers 8-9. The Orbits. That is the new owner for the Bears, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. He went to Tampa.
And they're the Orlando
Yeah.
Orbits.
Right.
And then we have the Houston Oilers 6-10. The Cardinals, Glendale Cardinals at 6-11. Arizona Cardinals, let's just say. Green Bay Packers at 5-11. And we got the Dallas Cowboy Black Knights at 4-13. So that's a breakdown of the NFC.
Okay. So we'll take a look at the NFC real quick. We got the Ravens at 16 and 0. He went 16 and 0. Yeah. Titans 12 and 4. Dolphins 11 and 5. Raiders 11 and 6. Jaguars 11 and 6. Chiefs 10 and 7. Browns squeezed in at 8 and 8. Has the
8 and
Bills
9.
here 8 and 9. I'm sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shows 8. You said that's a little
Yeah,
glitch in the game.
that's a glitch. It's
Okay.
showing there's 8 playoff teams, and
Well,
there's really not. It told me when I signed on today that I was a lock in for the playoffs, but I
we'll
think I
see.
lost by too many points on my last game.
We'll
And
see.
there's only 7 playoff teams,
Okay.
so it's not
So,
going to work.
uh, Texans are now the Tokyo Dragons. That's my team. We went 7 and 10. You have the Bengals 7-10, the Broncos 6-10, Pats 6-11, Steelers are 4-12, Colts are 3-13, and the Jets are 3-14. Let's stay on this side for a second. So the Ravens are 16-0 right now. I don't know if they
One game to be played.
one game to be played, so they have a chance to run the gauntlet for the season. Um, and he's trying to get back to win the Super Bowl. I mean, he lost the last one, so I know he's trying to get there. What's different here is you got two teams from my division made it. The Titans are 12-4, and the Jaguars are 11-6. Didn't make it last season, but they're in this time, so we'll see what happens with them. The Browns got in uh, through the way that the games were played. He happened to actually he was able to readjust and get some wins in and made a run for it. And he happened to make the playoffs, which is a good thing. He's a decent player. He might upset somebody depending on we'll look at who he has to play. And then you know you're still saying until it doesn't show you as a playoff contender, you're still there. But if the numbers are wrong, the numbers are wrong. We'll find out. So um, for the NFC, again, the Rams are 17-0. Um, and then you got the Lions at 14-2. That's rich, So he's made a run for it. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there, as well as the 49ers. They weren't in the last one. They are 12-5. They didn't make the playoffs last season, but or did they? They might have. I'm not sure, but they're in this time for sure. And then you got the Saints, my dark horse as always. I think Torres can make some noise. The Commanders got in at 11-6. He won his division finally. So we'll see. We'll talk on that later probably. The Falcons at 10-6. He's a new owner um, for this Madden, and then you got C-Mail at 9-7, uh, who's always a steady player if he just puts his mind to it, but he has a tendency to just sometimes he's on point, and sometimes he loses it at points. So let's uh, let's talk about surprise performances. And I say surprise performances because again, there's some it's a reversal in some of the uh, players that were in the playoffs last season to this season.
How about you pick a surprise, good and bad for each conference?
Um, okay, so AFC. I'll start with the AFC. I don't. Well, conference. So we're talking not. We're talking.
Yeah, the whole AFC. Who do you think is a surprise that you didn't expect to win so many games?
Uh. Actually, I don't. You know, if I go back to my division, both opponents there, the Titans and the Jaguars, I would have thought one would have made it. I mean, we're all pretty much in the same level of play.
Yeah.
But they both made it, which is a surprise to me. But you know, uh, for the AFC, that's the surprise for me. I mean, the Chiefs were there before. Um, Again, the Browns squeaked in. But those two would be the surprise teams. The Ravens, the Dolphins, the Raiders. I mean, if you look at the AFC West, I mean, you know what's really going on over there. The Chiefs went on vacation for a little bit, so they gave up a few games. They might have been able to win their division, but because they had to give up some sim games, they um, didn't clinch the division, but they got in the playoffs. And let me speak on Crush over here, who started out eager to play, and wanting to play, and he let him not following the rules because of life's instances. Uh, uh, he let that just throw his whole game off and decided that he didn't want to play anymore. And this goes out to all the owners in this league. If you're not going to play, or if you have an issue, or you know whatever the case, why not man up and just leave the league on your own, which some owners will do. Who was it? There was a guy that was the Bears owner that he had something happen where he had to leave and he was going to be away for some weeks, so he got out the league. But when you stay in the league to be booted because you're not man enough to just be like, you know what, I don't want to play anymore, regardless of what the reason is, and you just hang out and you just, instead of just getting forced with, a CP or maybe somebody in there, just say, you know what, fellas, thanks for letting me play. I'll see you later. I don't like what happened, blah, 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 which you're entitled to do. But I personally consider guys that just hang out, like, this is stupid to me. I mean, to me, you don't want to play, leave. Don't be booted so somebody can say, "Oh, I didn't leave the league. I just didn't play my games." Yeah, well, you left the league if you didn't play your games. So for all you guys, if you ever get in a position where you can't play, man, just man up. Be like, I can't play, or something come, whatever it is, and just leave. It's not a big deal. It's more of a deal when you just hang around and you want somebody to boot you. It's like you're not manning up. You're actually a wimp. But that's just from my point of view. Um, and if we go to the AFC, I guess we could do the North. Um, like I said, I think we were on.
Well, you were picking a good and a bad surprise for the AFC.
Right. Okay. Right. So we're doing the whole thing right. So you want to do the NFC, or you want me to do who I thought was a
Well, yeah, give me your surprise winner and your surprise. Well, somebody that didn't meet
surprise
the
turn?
expectations.
Well, somebody that could always make the playoffs should they choose to tighten up their game is the 49ers, and he made it this time around. Um, so for me, that's the surprise there. What happens in the playoffs? You know, the Rams, the Lions, the Saints. I think the Falcons and the Giants. They all were there last. I think apart from the Falcons, I know the Giants, I know the Rams, I know the Lions. They didn't make it. So you know what? I'm just gonna stay with the 49ers and say, if he could keep his mind and don't let stuff throw him off while he's playing, um, he can win. I mean, he's been a Super
We
Bowl winner in this league years ago, but
we both know that Jin spends, like, we all have energy meters, right? And Jin always put a lot of energy towards trolling the chat. So I think that that was, if he wouldn't troll the chat so much, he could use that brain power to play better when he plays. I think that's where he needs.
I can agree to disagree. I don't think him trolling the chat has to do with him playing his games. To me, it's two separate things, even though it's within the league. He likes doing that, so
He,
that's
he
just
put a
him.
lot of pressure on himself, man. That's way
Well,
too much pressure.
I mean, you look at it as pressure. Maybe he just looks at it as everyday living. I
I
don't know.
mean, if I run my mouth and then I end up with egg on my face, that's I can't handle that. And he does this. He run it and he have egg on his face and it don't bother him. It don't seem to bother him.
Right. Well, I mean,
Then
that's
the
that's
next
him.
day comes and he does the same thing.
Well, that's him. He likes what he does. So as long as
All right.
he can do what he can do and still win, he's good. I just think he
If
needs
he's
to
having
bat.
fun, more
Well,
power
he
to
needs to
him.
just batten down, and when he gets in these games, don't get flustered. Don't lose your thought process, and you know, if people got their mics on and all that, mute them. You know what I mean? You don't need to hear them making noise if it's throwing you off, and whatever case might be. But yeah, so I'm gonna go with the 49ers as you know. at this
Your
point.
surprise winner of the year.
Yeah,
What about for the AFC?
I gave you that one.
Okay.
I gave
What?
you. I gave
Okay.
you.
Who's your?
I gave you the. Uh, I said the Jaguars and
Oh,
the
say okay.
Titans.
I
Both of
yeah.
them made it
Okay.
in there
So who's your in the NFC? Who's the one that you expected to win more games?
to win more games than they did last time, or just win beat
More,
them.
yeah. Who would you expect in the NFC to have a better record than they did?
Everybody that's there is there. The top
So so
one,
you don't
two,
have
three,
any
four.
surprises?
What that won more games than they should have? I'm not
Yeah,
understanding the.
yeah.
Well, again,
Or lost more games than they should have. That's the bottom,
um
the other side of that.
right. Um, well, I'm surprised Smack is 8-8, but I mean, right? He's the Wizards, right? So I'm surprised the Wizards, but I understand, like I said, this is the holidays and there's things going on, and not everybody's playing, apart from different things happening. So, um, yeah, I guess Smack would be the one that I would think lost more games than he should have,
Okay. So I'm
or
gonna
the
say
Wizards,
that
or the Wizards. I'll tell you like
the
that.
Wizards. Okay.
Well, I
I'm
didn't
gonna
do the
say that.
AFC. Let me do the
Yeah, yeah.
AFC. So, who lost more games than they should have? You did. You just came
Yeah,
off being in the
yeah,
playoffs, and you lost more games than you should have,
yeah.
which might
That's
initially
my
put
pick.
you out of the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah, that's actually my pick is myself. I expected to win games that I didn't win,
Yeah.
and and I threw way too many picks again. I had a bad season when it comes to throwing picks, and I'll tell you one thing. I had me and Doc have this money play, and I, it's worked great up until the one of the patches came in, and then all of a sudden you can't get the quarterback to lead the receiver on throwing it. So it went from being a money play to an interception because the quarterback throws it behind the receiver every time, or it's at least it's
Well,
really hard to lead the receiver on that route. And now it's not a money play, and it was after a patch that we got. And that's what really hurt me is because I was throwing that money play all last year, and
uh,
then this year some patch kind of made it so they nerfed it,
yeah, it went
and
from a money play to chump change play.
it went to an interception, which is the worst thing that could happen.
They
So
nerfed it on you, so you can't use
like
that. But that's why there's 500 plays in the playbook. So,
15% of my interceptions are because of that play right there.
well, once it doesn't work a few times and you know it, I don't know why you would keep going back to it,
Yeah,
hoping
well,
that
it's
it would
because
work again.
you don't believe that it's a you're just trying to like I can't believe,
Yeah.
and then finally after 12 interceptions, you're like, okay, I guess I can't throw that route anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's like playing a game and you keep throwing the ball knowing, we all do it at points, but when it gets to a point where you're throwing 10, 11 interceptions or 8, 9 interceptions, I mean, you're just being stubborn knowing that you're
Well,
just beefing up the other team.
the thing is, it's like I said, it won't let you lead the receiver. It throws it behind the receiver so that the receiver has to reach around and it allows the defender that's trailing him to catch it with his
Mm.
hand, to catch up to it, and you're thinking, how did they make it so that you can't possibly lead the receiver anymore?
Well, certain plays they did that for a reason, so I mean, I guess that's one of them. But
Yeah.
let's take yours. What do you think for the AFC? Same question
So
goes to you. Who's lost more than they should have?
for the surprise is me. for losing more than I should. And I'm going to say that Tim. Well, even though Tim last year he wasn't the same player, he's the most improved player, let's say, in the
Okay.
AFC.
Okay. NFC.
And yeah, and the NFC, I'm going to say the Giants. With C-Mail, I expected him to have a little better record than what he's got. Looks like
Okay.
he's in the playoffs, but he's seventh seed, and he'll be able to make noise from there.
Yeah.
I expect him to win at least one or two playoff games.
Right. We'll look at who he has to come up against when we look at the tree. All right. But that's so. But who's the most improved?
Most improved, I believe the Commanders.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
No, you have no answer is wrong. You have who you believe. I took the
I'm going to say the
49ers.
Commanders.
You say the Commanders. It's all good.
Yeah, okay.
Again, this is viewpoint. So yeah, if you believe the Commanders, that's fine. All right. So most improved is the Commanders.
Did he
That's
make the
good.
playoffs last season?
No,
I don't think so.
no, he didn't. But he's there
Yeah,
this
so
season. So it's
yeah,
funny because if the matchups go, he's going to end up playing Jin again, the 49ers. So we're going to see what happens there. If that's how it goes, but we'll see. Um, so that's standing wise and who we think most improved and who surprised you know surprised
both of us
going
anyway.
on. Yeah. Um, so if we take a look at the I guess the screen on top, we can go to um, view the playoff picture. And as it stands at the moment on the NFC side,
Ooh,
you got the number 2 seed, the number 7 seed is CML is the Giants, and you got
he's got to play the Lions. Hmm.
if yeah
I take
that
that back, man.
you can't take back nothing now. So this is where we're at, and
So I got to stick with my prediction. He's going to beat the Lions.
I mean you can change your mind now if that's what you want to do, but he's a solid player and he can win.
Yeah.
So
He needed to get the another matchup than that for the
well,
first one.
that's a good matchup because if he upsets him, then that knocks Rich out. So then you got the Saints and the Falcons. You
Yeah.
know, well, I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what happens with people. I can't. I just know that solid players are solid players, but
Okay.
then it could be one mistake that messes a game up, or it could be a bunch. So we'll see. You got the Saints and the Falcons over here. Again, that's the Falcons owner is a new owner, but I'm not. Torrey is a dark horse. I always pull for Torrey to upset people and even get to a bowl
Yeah.
again.
Torrey's a solid player.
Yeah, yeah. And then once again down there in the 4 and 5 seed, we have the
Hmm.
Commanders and the 49ers. So you know, it's funny. We were in the chat. If you look at the chat this past few days, they were alluding to the Commanders getting you know this is the thing where when you go play at somebody's house and you know it could be you playing, it might not be you playing. If it's you playing, it's fine. I'm not saying it ain't, but you know that's the hazards of not having your own, and it's a trust thing. I mean, you join the league to play, but because the 49ers is trolling that click between the uh, Redskins and the Commanders and the Lions and uh, the Falcons and the Rams are all and a couple other one or two other people. You know, I just we'll see what happens. It's tough. It's tough. Um, on the AFC side, you got again right now it's the Titans, Tim and Brenton with the with the Browns. I mean, Brenton got that quarterback from the Jaguars, and he's been doing better than he was, and he's got a handle. But I think he lost his last game. But we'll see what happens there. Uh, and you got the Dolphins and the Chiefs. So let's see what happens there because if I don't know if the Chiefs, I guess the Chiefs is around now. Hopefully they play their
Yeah,
game.
he's
Um,
back, and I'm gonna predict an upset on that one.
mm. And you got the Raiders and the Jaguars, which is Low Sweater and Biggs, and the same thing with Biggs. If he doesn't get flustered and he sticks to his game plan, he can win. But we'll see what happens.
He plays
Uh,
good defense. I like the
yeah,
Raiders
his
in that
defense
matchup.
his defense is solid. I mean, but it's just he's just gotta batten down the hatches and keep everything in front of him and not lose focus. But we'll see what we get. So let's do. I'm gonna let you go first. Let's do the one and done. So who do you think is gonna be one and done out the gate?
I'm really sorry, C-Mail. I'm really sorry, man.
Okay.
But if Rich's controller's not broken, sorry, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
So there's my one and done for the NFC. Let's see. I'm gonna say Jin's a one and done. Um, I'm gonna say the Browns and the Jaguars.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah, I'm picking the Raiders and Titans. I think Tim's having a great season, and I think I've played Tim several times before. We both beat each other probably about the same amount of times. He can
So what
play.
about the Chiefs and
I
Dolphins?
predict I predict the Chiefs is going to win a close game. I think uh, it's going to be probably in the 30s. Yeah, I
Think
think
that
it's going to
high?
be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
What
going to be
about
like 34-28, something like that. 31, 30, 28, something like that.
Saints Falcons? What happened there?
I'm going to take Tory on that one.
Torrey's done or he's winning?
Tory's winning.
So the Falcons.
Tory's
So
tough to beat. Yeah.
you got the lower seed. Well, except for the 40. Yeah, you got the lower seed. All the lower seeds on the NFC East losing.
Yeah,
Five,
and
six,
and
seven,
also
5, 6, 7 are going out one and done.
yeah, but on the other side, the AFC, I got the lowest seed winning the middle game.
Yeah. Um, but you got 7 and 5 over there. Jags and the Browns going down.
Let me just say it wouldn't shock me if C-Mail beat the Lions, but he's got to play his best game, and that's a tall task for anyone. I mean, and the way I consider, so we know that the Rams are an elite team in our league. The Lions are elite, and the Ravens are elite, and I'm gonna put the Chiefs up there. Um,
But you know the
and
term any given Sunday.
right, absolutely, but I'm putting those in a tier up above, and the rest of us are below that.
Okay. Okay.
And like I say, the Lions, the Rams, the Ravens, and I'm gonna put the Chiefs up there, and the rest of us are below. Those guys are elite, and it's a tall order to beat them. They have to be not
Well,
trying
I
or
gotta give you almost all of that, but you gotta remember, Rich is a good player, but Rich was struggling
well.
this Madden. It wasn't
th-
he has this is he can play, but he's not this is we'll see if he can
you
continue.
made a good point because as far as Madden goes, this is I don't really like the way the game plays this year. I liked last year's Madden better,
I'm sure
you know,
there's
and-
pros and cons to every year,
but
but you
but
know
he if Rich's stick skills, are elite, and along with Prince and I'm guessing with Reek, um,
The Rams.
yeah, the Rams, and you know, King of the Fall, he's right there with them.
Okay.
So, but anyway, that's how I feel about it, and it's a tall order to beat them. If they're trying, it's hard to beat them. You got to play your perfect game to beat them, pretty much, or almost near perfect.
I just think you have to be in the game and not let it get away from you. That's the key.
That's part of it. That's part
But
of it.
that's the key. If it comes down to the last possession and somebody wins like that, that was a great game. But if it comes down to where somebody's blowing you out and you're trying to catch up and you can't, then uphill is harder than downhill. You know that already. So, you know, if you can stay even and just tit for tat and if you happen to get behind, you don't let it take you out where you get farther behind. And that's usually how that works. If you,
Yeah,
you know, um, the caliber of players we have in the league can, if they don't, right now the way this is set up, I'm going to go back to the original question of who's one and done on the
yeah.
NFC
You need it.
side.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to go depending on what happens here. I'm going to go with the Redskins going out. I think the 49ers can beat him if
Oh
if,
yeah.
if he if he puts his mind to it. We'll see. Um, I'm gonna go with the Falcons going out, and um, oddly enough, I gotta go with the Giants going out because I don't know what C-Mel is gonna come in and play that game. So you know, if it's a C-Mel that's trying to, he's always trying to win, but if he doesn't, he's been known to fall behind, but been able to catch up. But by the time he figures it out, sometimes it's too late, and he'll lose by a couple. But if he could stay even with the Lions and maybe even get ahead a touchdown, and try not to let it get away from him, he's got a good chance of winning. But I don't know who we're getting there. I know who Rich is. Rich will play you top notch every time he can. Um, Win or lose. On the AFC side, I think this time my dark horse is on this side. My dark horse on that side is the Saints. My dark horse on this side is actually the Browns. Um, but far be it
Hmm.
from me. Uh, I think Tim's going to lose to him. Um, and uh, I'm going to go with the Chiefs because he hasn't really been playing. And sometimes when you step away from the game and you come back, you see things differently. So, it can be better off your reaction time. And so I'm gonna go Dolphins as one and done. And low sweater and Biggs. Well, Biggs' defense, the Jaguars, is great.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just how he does with his offense, whether or not he can stay in the game. Um, and I think low sweater's going to go out. So I got the Rams, I got the Raiders. I'm sorry, I got the Raiders, the Dolphins, and the Titans one and done.
All right.
That's my picks on that side. Um, we'll see what happens. Um,
Well, yeah. All right. Now we have something there. Now, is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you had in mind? That I know there was one thing that I wanted to talk about.
um,
Oh, we
well,
didn't talk about the players of the week.
um,
We could run them off real quick.
uh, I mean throughout the season?
Yeah, we don't have to, but
No,
the
I
weekly
mean,
award winners.
yeah. I mean, we'll look at it. Weekly award winners. You know, I mean, this kind of just from week one.
People
I
can
mean,
see that on their own. I mean, we don't necessarily have to do that.
Right. I'm just for viewing purposes running through who's actually been there more so than not. Um, and it's funny because I'm looking at this and I got like uh, eh, uh okay. We don't. But let's if we go into the top performers. I mean, they could see it too, but sometimes they don't pay attention to it. The Lions is actually Jared Goff has the most yards at 5,902 and 70 touchdowns. The Saints is right behind them um, with 5,631 with 60 touchdowns, and then you got the Rams, uh, 5,418. Um, and they're all pretty close. I mean, 68 completion rate for the Lions, 72 completion rate for the Saints, and 58 for the Rams. Rushing goes to Kansas City right now with Pacheco at 1,600 plus yards, 13 touchdowns, and you got the Buccaneers with 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. And then you got I guess I say it was a San Antonio. Well,
Yeah, so,
I guess C Brown is 1350. And then you got the receiving yards. See, this is what you don't look at. Passing yards and receiving yards, top three: Detroit, the Saints, and the Rams.
yep,
Right? Receiving
yep,
yards,
yep.
top three. Top man is Jay Robbins for the Saints, Detroit, Jay Williams, and Baltimore, L. Williams. So the only difference there is the Rams doesn't have the top receivers, but he's got the top
And
one
look
of
at
the top
those
QB.
touchdowns. 38 touchdowns in a season, 35, 34. That's a
Yeah,
lot of touchdowns. That's like three times more than no, what is actual for the real NFL.
yeah, yeah. And then you have to look at some of those games, who played who, and how they got
Yeah,
that much. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, that's all right. That was offense. So then you got defense. You got most sacks once again. Lions, A. Hutchinson at 18. Washington, oddly enough, has 12. Look at this. Washington has two players with more sacks than most of the league. So they're getting the people. I mean, the linebacker has 12 and the DT has 11.
Yeah.
Um, and interceptions, you
43
got
tackle for loss. That's a lot too.
yeah, um, definitely. So I mean, his defense is I guess when he gets pressure, he gets pressure. Interceptions, you got the Giants, the Seahawks, and Detroit. Giants Banks has 13. Uh, Seahawks has 12, and Detroit has 12 also. Um, and last but not least, the tackles. Orlando Orbits is in there this time, and Bengals, and so that's completely different. So look at that for tackles. T- these three teams aren't. I mean, Cincinnati is losing record. Pitt's losing record, and but their guys are playing. 99 tackles for this guy Edmonds, a middle linebacker. 108 for Patrick McQueen, and 86 for um,
Yeah.
Taylor Britt. So, um, yeah, that's a lot. So,
Yep. I
so you
absolutely
you
agree.
wanted to talk about the pros and cons of Twitch and YouTube
YouTube.
streaming.
Yeah. Because
So,
for most people, when they post their video to Twitch, it's not it's only a short amount of time before it's not viewable anymore. And with YouTube, it's there forever. And so there's been a few times when I've wanted to watch a game and two or three people are playing at the same time, and you watch one game, and then you go to watch the other one after the first one that you watched is over on Twitch, and it's gone already. It's not viewable anymore. And so, and I know that there's been a couple times when I've been like, if I had my druthers, and luckily I have pretty decent internet speed, but if somebody's got barely enough internet bandwidth to stream their game, or to play their game, they're not going to have, if they're lagging out just playing, having to stream puts a little pressure, makes it so there's a good chance that it's not going to be enough. And in that situation, it should be allowable for them to just upload their game after the game's over to YouTube and have it be just the same as streaming it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So
but I certainly don't like, like I said, I haven't seen the Rams play, and I think the times when I went to go watch, the game was gone from the Twitch page already. Anyhow,
right.
so what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I'll just say that you know, uh, it doesn't take much to have an account on either one, um, whether it's Twitch or YouTube. I think at the end of the day, uh, just like anything else, it's a luck of the draw. If you're around when the game is being played and you can watch it, you get that one shot when you're using Twitch. If you don't see it afterwards, then you just from an informational point of seeing how people play and you know um, so on. If you need to figure out stats or whatever, who likes what, what plays are being run, da da da. It is what it is. I don't care on either one of them.
Well,
I'll
what are
use
your
either one
thoughts
of them.
on what are your thoughts on you pretty much stream every one of your games, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Uh, I mean, at points I'll just stream the stream, but to me it used to be, I didn't want to stream because, people see what you're doing, but you know what, at the end of the day, it ain't gonna really matter. I just say this, it's on the commissioners, it's on the league. If you tell people they gotta have YouTube and they gotta stream from YouTube only, and if they don't, I mean,
Well, I'm also saying they could upload it to YouTube. It takes a while longer, but
well, again, that's not, you know,
if somebody
a
has
priority.
barely enough,
Not a priority to do. So should it be a priority? Well, I mean, you
if
know,
somebody has barely enough bandwidth to play, if they're lagging out or close to lagging out while they're playing and not streaming, then there's definitely not going to be enough bandwidth for them to stream it and play it when it's
well,
already lagging out.
one of the major rules in the league is you got to have a good internet connection.
I
I mean,
had a game that I
that's in
had
the
a
rules.
or
I mean,
right. I understand that, but when I was playing the Dolphins earlier, and I was down 3 touchdowns, and I was just got the ball back just after halftime, and he said that he got a windstorm that knocked the game out, and I
okay,
knew it was going to be too hard to set up. Plus, I was down 3 touchdowns, but I was still on his side of the 50-yard line, but it was going to be too hard to get the game back to where it was ethic or evenly equitably is what the word I'm looking for. And so I just forfeit the rest of that game. Now, yeah, he most probably was going to win, but I was really close to getting momentum back,
well, that goes with choice.
But it was a
So
storm. He said it was a storm that knocked the game out.
whatever the case, I just think that if and this has been an issue this season with some of these games that have been played where there was a disconnect and you know guys wanted to play and some guys. I mean, listen, the game disconnects. You can play from scratch. Some people don't want to play from scratch. They want their points. If it's a 7 point game, for me, I'll play the whole game over. You know what I mean? And you know,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna. You know, the one thing that I don't think should be is you don't kick the ball to a person and let them score. You don't give them momentum right out the gate. You know what I mean? If you're down by 7, 3, 14, 28, whatever it is, you just tack that on the back. And as you get towards the end of the game, or you could, good players don't care. They're like, you know what? Let's play. I've had people do that just to
Yeah,
start
same.
over. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
it. If you beat me, you beat me. You know what I mean? But then you have some people like, well, I want my points. You know what I mean? And if it's a bunch of points, I understand. So you just say, okay, you're up 28. We play the game. We get to, the fourth quarter, close to the end. And if you're not close to it, we'll just stop it and you can have a forced win. I get that. So, for me, it's just, if I'm in a position where it's not, I get a disconnect, it is what it is. I don't like having to start a game out and me kick you the ball and let you run it all the way back, or I get the ball and I got to punt it to you, and now I'm
yeah.
behind the eight ball right out the gate, first play of the game. Even though it doesn't show momentum, there is some momentum loss in that. So to do that, it just doesn't make sense. So, you know, I think going back to the Twitch and the YouTube, you got people stream their games. If you don't see it and you miss it, that's your loss. That's how that's just the way it is. I don't think you should monopolize and say everybody got to show YouTube, put it on YouTube so that if somebody didn't see the game, they can go back and watch it.
But there's people. If somebody, this is another part of my point is that there's people that will get punished for not streaming their game, and if you look at the person that didn't stream their game and the person that did stream it on Twitch, an hour later, it's exactly the same outcome, or
Well,
maybe
no,
two
because
hours
if it's
later.
on there, so here's the thing, from a standpoint of how it works, how it should work, you stream your game. If somebody's watching, it's fine. So going back to like playoffs and stuff like that, um, you know, I I know what the rules say as far as you know. Uh, these rules are a little different than the rules that were in G.L.F.L. So what's supposed to happen with the playoffs even streamed again. I think the general rule, I can go to my phone and figure it out, but the general rule is if you're having an issue streaming for whatever reason, you're supposed to ask your opponent to stream. You know what I mean? But what
Okay,
what happens is what happens. But wait, what happens is once again everything is a trust issue. If you don't want to stream and you don't, you're supposed to get penalized because you could just be saying that
well,
I have an
I
issue,
understand that.
this and
What
that.
a,
So yeah,
you you're working at the wrong point. The point that I'm making is that 2 hours after the game, the guy that didn't stream and gets punished for not streaming, and the guy that did stream on Twitch, for the most part, as soon as that game disappears off of Twitch, it's the same outcome. You know,
yeah,
the
but he
only thing
streamed,
is
but he
the
streamed,
only
but he's
yeah the
but
only
so even if so here's the thing. So if you're only using Twitch and you upload it to Twitch, it still goes away an hour later.
well, I don't know that you can upload to Twitch. I don't know that you could. I don't know if you can or not. To be honest with you, I know
Or
you can upload it to YouTube because I've done it a couple
right,
times.
right. Well, you know what? They'll figure it out. I just think that my view on it is use what you have that's available, and if you catch my game, you catch it. If you don't, and it's not there when
Okay.
you want to go, then
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
just par for the course. It's a plus if you use YouTube and somebody wants to see what happened in that game to see, what you might be doing, and you don't really care
yeah.
about it.
4 weeks down the road, you can still see it on YouTube.
Right. So yeah, but that's par for the course.
Yeah.
I think that at this point, um, we probably can uh, stop here and just see if what
See what
happens
happens.
on the next advance, and we can come back. We can either do see if
Let's
our
just do an
predictions.
after Super Bowl one and go from there.
That's fine. We can
I
do
think
that,
that's
but
probably more realistic.
yeah. But first, I'll just say congratulations to everybody that made the playoffs this time. Hopefully, the one and dones aren't, but if you are, it's okay. At least you got there. There can only be one winner anyway, so you know if you ain't getting all the way there, then you know you're in the seat on the couch with the rest of us watching.
Yeah.
So, but right now, congratulations to all the owners that made it there.
Yep, and good luck as well.
Yeah, and
Some of you need it more than others.
um, but everybody has a shot at winning. That's the thing. So how you go in
Yep.
is how you go in. Um, how you play your game and your mindset, that's on you guys. We know the elite players, the heavy hitters, but like I say, any given Sunday. So, uh, all right, Wade, we've done it once more, and I think that will do for now. And we will come back again after the Super Bowl, congratulate whoever, and we'll go back over the one and dones and what might have transpired during these games, and see what happens from there.
All right.
All right. All right. All right, everyone. Remember what we said in here, just our opinions. Hopefully it motivates some people.
Yeah, don't sue us.
Yeah, hopefully it motivates some people, and we'll see what transpires. All right, I'll put this up as soon as it's doable and post it
And
in the
Happy
chat.
New Year, too.
Yeah, Happy New Year. It's a new year. Old thoughts out the window, new thoughts in. All right. All right, wait. Down the line.
All right.
All right. Bye.